Should I bring you the harmonium?
I
The
don't
table?
play.
Uh-huh. We just make
Warte mal, erst
with the cartridge.
We have a Vedanga?
und dann
Yeah.
Thank you.
so ein kleiner Tisch. Sag mal zu.
Hare Krishna
Hör auf, mich zu gucken. Konzentrier dich.
to those present here and to those online.
Yes.
So,
Ups.
Toll.
Ein bisschen kleiner.
thank you.
Du nimmst das auf und stellst sie dahin. Und dann stellst du den
Welcome, welcome, welcome
Tisch. Da drunter. Weiter.
to this series of 4 programs, and the
Manga.
underlying theme is going back to school,
Wow.
which all the children were eagerly waiting for the whole summer.
I don't think so.
Special treat. Today, especially today, we also celebrate a very important anniversary in our calendar. Today is the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He appeared in 1838, and so we'll also connect the two. And we'll sing.
Kunja Bihar.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Vijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Vijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Jamuna Tira Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama
Dai, sì, sì, Radha Madhava ki jai, Ganasa Varadev, Sudarshan Chakra ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.
And the nice thing is when we have guests like this, you get to know them from a completely different side. You know, not the So I'm very, wie sagt man angenehm, pleasantly surprised from your kirtan. Thank you. It's the first time I hear it. So it very touches me. Thank you.
So.
Was ist mit Bettwäsche? Hast du das gemacht? Passte das in den Ding? In der Bank. In der Bank. Ja. Das könntest du mir sagen, damit ich weiß, okay. Statt ein anderes Ding zu sagen.
Am I getting even a second? Janasa, Om Vijabhadaya Vishvastabhadre Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gurumani Vacharine Vishesha Shavadi Vashtaptari Saturine Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamide Gura Shakti Swarupaya Rupnu Varayate Panchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuveva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was born in Birnagar. It's a name that maybe to some of you doesn't mean much, but it's a place practically on the way to Mayapur. When you arrive at the airport in Kolkata and you go to Mayapur, 1 hour before Mayapur and few minutes before Shantipur, the place of Advaita Acharya, if you turn right, couple of kilometers, you are in Virnagar. Now, he was born in a family of devotees of Shiva and Buddha. This is also very important for us because most of us, besides Srila Govinda Dasi, most of us, we come from different backgrounds, of different religious denominations, and
If at all.
if at all, yes. Oh, what's happening?
One second. Don't lean, they didn't fix the Vyasa.
Oh, okay.
Did Himanga? Zaki Gemur.
Uh,
You're levitating, see?
Careful, don't
I'm
fall
sorry. Don't move too much. Nothing will happen. It's just that they forgot to fix it. Sorry.
okay. So,
This is confirmation of what we just said.
oh, okay. Actually, the house of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was quite wealthy. In fact, when you go to Birnagar, you can still see the original temple. There's a Shiva temple right there, and they were worshipping Shiva with great pomp and opulence. They were doing many festivals, but at one point, the old Birnagar was hit by epidemics, and so it became almost a spectral place for many years. Now, I'm thinking of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as a child, and he was always learning. For instance, there was a guard, a simple guard, what do you call it in India, chokidar, that he was always telling him the stories of Ramayana. So this is what I want to tell our children and our parents, that of course we need the systematic structure of formal education, going to school and going through the various subjects which the government very kindly offers us, and it's not sarcastic, 2% sarcastic. No, it's actually, I tell you, you may see going to school as a burden, but actually it's a privilege.
Yes.
Because in many countries of the world, children don't have that privilege.
Yes.
The government doesn't offer free education or anything like that. It's not even obligatory. So the fact that we have this opportunity here in Germany should be taken as a great opportunity. See, a lot of how we approach things is our attitude, our psychology. We could think, I have to do this, and I have to, as a flavor of obligation, as a flavor of burden. I have to. sometimes it could be helpful to shift our vocabulary. Instead of saying, I have to, we can use, I get to. So dear children, don't think, I have to go to school. You please use this other verb. I get to go to school. Get, in English, I'm sure there are translations available. Get gives the sense of opportunity, a good chance, a positive. And this is, as an aside, also for chanting Hare Krishna. If we start the morning, we take this japa and think, oh, I have to chant my rounds. It may feel like a burden, like a chore. Like I have to clean the bathroom, I have to wash my clothes, which is not necessarily a very pleasant thing. It's necessary. I have to cook. But if we just use this verb, it's a one syllable, get. I get to chant my rounds. Somehow Krishna gave me voice, vocal cords, gave me the japa, gave me the mantra, and I get to chant it. And I get to chant 16 rounds. And other groups, not they don't get to chant 16 rounds, they could chant 16 rounds, but in their teachings often they don't ask 16 rounds. So some of us, in the moments of laziness, we could think, oh, you see, they give initiation with 4 rounds. And I have to chant 16. No, they give initiation for 4 rounds. We get to chant 16. So, we
are so fortunate.
Exactly, that's the bottom line.
So fortunate, so much blessings.
Yes. So the sense of receiving fortune engenders, generates, creates gratitude, which is the special ingredient of life. Imagine a special ingredient. Like here in Germany, I see in the temples, they use a lot of butter. In many other temples, you don't see butter. Or other because it's not the culture or the taste, or they cannot afford so much butter. But you give butter and it increases the taste of bread.
That's the reason why it's butter, because Germany is a bread-eating country.
So we could say that gratitude is the butter of life. It nourishes. He replenishes us. When we are in the mood of gratitude, everything is fantastic, because everything is receiving something that we may not receive. It's not that we sign a contract before coming to the material world, or when we are born that I love this, I love that, no. So whatever we get is actually, in one sense, a plus. So talking about education, I want to make a little confession. Now, when I'm looking back at my school days, I'm thinking, and I'm speaking sincerely here, because confessions must be sincere, otherwise...
Be aware that there may be other people listening besides just us.
Yes.
If you're going to make a confession.
It's nothing...
It's going to be in the newspaper tomorrow.
My confession is simple. My confession is, looking back, I would have liked to put more energy in my studies. A lot was a burden, frankly speaking. A lot was a burden. Things like Latin. But if I had to do it now, I would have actually put my head into it. Because it's important. I mean, we may not speak Latin much during the day, but it trains the mind. And frankly, it could be a good preparation for studying Sanskrit, because it's got a similar structure, and Latin, a lot of Latin word and structure, which is more important, grammatical structure, comes from Sanskrit, like declensions. See, in English, we use article and preposition, like from Berlin to Berlin, because of Berlin, in Berlin. But in Latin and in Sanskrit, we don't say that. We just change the end of the word. Like that. So anyway, this is just an example. I was quite lazy. I was good at school. I remember one time they did a IQ test. General, they didn't give the numbers, but basically there was average intelligence and more than average. And I remember when they gave the results, they go by alphabetic order, and everybody was average intelligence, average intelligence, average intelligence. And there was one student before me because he was F, frusciante. So F, higher than average. And I came a little late, O Pescini. So I was really in anxiety.
You were what?
I was in anxiety.
If you would be
Because I would really hate that I was average intelligence and also he was kind of my rival, in one sense. A friend but rival. So average intelligence, frusciante, above average. And average intelligence. Pescini, above average. But so I mean, I don't know how much above, maybe I don't know how much. But so for me, mostly it was a relief, more than a joy. It was a relief. But I was lazy. For instance, at the end of at the time was
Doesn't
at the end of
Prabhupada say the lazy intelligence?
Whoa.
You know, I know lots of people that use this phrase to explain or excuse their laziness, you know?
I remember at the end of the 8th year, at the time was like 5-year elementary, 3 medium, I don't know now what they use. But at the end of 8 years,
Extra.
we had to give an exam to finish the obligatory years of school. So we had to choose one country of Europe for geography and say something. We had to speak a few minutes about that country. Mostly it's a formality, but still we got to do some reading in the book and they say something. So because I was so lazy, kind of proud, I chose a minuscule country. I chose Mount Athos.
From all the places.
Technically it's a country, it's a little part of Greece. You might have heard, Mount Athos. And so I spoke just a couple of minutes and they probably, Mount Athos. Okay, go. So this is a confession. I hope it's useful for you. If I had to go back, hopefully I don't, but looking back, let's say, looking back, I would like to try to absorb, not just get by. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a very, very intellectually lively boy. He was interested in everything. And of course, we accept him as an eternal associate of the Lord. We accept his birth, the circumstances, and Leela. At the same time, historically speaking, and psychologically speaking, he was very, very eager to learn. In fact, he was like a sponge. And he was born as a Hindu. So naturally he was connected with the Gita, he was connected with the Vedas and so on. But he was very eager to learn. For instance, he learned Christianity, he learned, and there was a priest who was cultivating him, and this priest always hoped to
Convert him.
now he will convert, now he will convert, now he will convert. But he never converted to Christianity, but he studied and he appreciated it a lot. And he learned that he spoke Bengali, he spoke, I believe, also Oriya. He spoke even, they say he spoke even Persian. So, plus, I'm sure, Hindi, and of course, English. And due to his very, very good brain, materially speaking, he became deputy magistrate. Deputy magistrate. Now, you may think a deputy magistrate may not sound great, but that was the highest position that an Indian could obtain in the British Raj. An Indian could not become more than deputy district magistrate. And it's not that all the deputy magistrates were Indians. No, as far as I know, there are only 3 in the whole of India. Imagine how many districts India will have. You know, this British, they have to run India. They were the colonial power. And imagine how many districts, but only 3 Indians got to be the district manager. So, deputy district magistrate. So he was so brilliant that it is said that all his sentencing was never turned in appeal. Because many times a judge at the district level make a sentence, and then at the higher level, state level like that, they upturn, they say no, it's not. But I heard that his sentencing was always good, and he was fast. And he kept studying and writing throughout his life. Many of you know his schedule was, now I don't remember exactly all by minute, but basically he would go to bed early, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock he would go to bed, which is a little easier in tropical countries because when the sun goes down, see here in Europe, for instance, in summer, we have the evening, right? The evening lasts hours sometimes. In the tropical, more you go closer to the equator, more the change between day and night is immediate. Now it's day, in a few minutes it's night. So it's a little easier, but still, look at the discipline. 8 o'clock, he was in bed. And he will wake up at
2
midnight. So, midnight. So he will, and then some of you have been to the house of Srila Bhakti Thakur. He had one, I wouldn't call it a room. It would be like a square, maybe 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter, in which he would sit there and chant. And he would, you can still see, he had this rotating bookshelf. You can still see it. Have you been to Michael?
Yeah, she's
You
been
remember the
not there.
rotating bookshelf?
Not there.
So, because he was sitting there, you can still see the chair, the desk, and he had a rotating bookshelf, so without getting up, he could rotate and take the book that he wants. So he would spend hours, therefore he wrote some 100 books. Even before, see, he became, as I said, he's an eternal associate, but he manifested as a Vaishnava a little later in life. Took initiation when he was, 40 or something like that? But even before, was an intellectual volcano. He wrote a poem, like in the West, we have the Odyssey, we have the Aeneid. He wrote the Parade. He wrote a whole book on Porus. Porus was one king in North India who fought with Alexander the Great, something like that. And somehow he wrote the whole poem like an epic book on Porus. So
We can stop for a second.
yes.
We can interrupt for a second, and he can fix it. Remember?
If you
But
don't
you
mind.
have to
So I'll speak standing.
switch off the microphone for a moment. Just hold on. Nothing will happen. Himanga, move the microphone and do it properly. Take your time to do it properly. Himanga, place it right straight. Okay. This is my construction. I'm sorry. So that we can clean behind and all this. It's broken. So the other side, fix it because tomorrow it will
Break and break.
In fact,
we had devotees who cleaned the temple room a few weeks ago. Achtung, Prabhupada Vyasa-san, pushing. And they forgot to fix it, to fix it. That's why.
Dieser ist fixiert.
Huh?
Diese Seite ist fixiert.
But this side, yeah, okay. So because this broke, probably that's why. Sorry. So be aware it will be probably like this tomorrow also because we need to replace the whole thing and we will not do it overnight. Huh? Now you know.
Hier ist nur rausgerutscht. Nur ist gut.
And you know if you do a good job, we can drive you around.
it's fun.
Sorry.
Now, one other proof of
Microphone is back on, obviously.
Hare Krishna. So another proof of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur spirit of initiative in learning was that, for instance, he had heard about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He heard it's a very important book. But somehow, unfortunately, the condition of Vaishnavism was such that he could not find a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He could not find it. It's a Bengali book, and it was in Bengal, but he couldn't find a copy. And you see some versions of Chaitanya Charitamrita without the purport in the translation. It's just one book, just one single volume. So when we think Chaitanya Charitamrita is 8 big volumes, we may understand, oh, well, finding all 8. No, it was one book. And he couldn't find, and it took years for him to find the book somewhere in some library that he could study. And in fact, then he gave what's called the Anubhashya, right? His purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he wrote on many things. He wrote in Sanskrit, he wrote in Bengali, he wrote in English, he wrote there are many songs and poetry which today we also use, like Jaya Radha Madhava, Gaura Artik right there is also Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he also wrote the most important song. Let's see if the children, do you know what's the most important song?
Balaram, spricht mit dir.
Do you know the most important song of all the ones we sing?
Знаете, какая самая главная песня, которую мы поем?
Or their favorite song?
Наша любимая песня, да?
Das Lieblingslied.
Which one is the song that when we sing?
You know
You-
this boy is new here, so he may not have
Okay,
it.
sorry. So anyway, there is a song very dear to the devotees, and it starts like this. Sharira Vidya
Ah, kennst du das? Kennst du das?
See, also we need to understand, these songs were not just were not just a song that, okay, as a poet, as a meditator, as a mystic, he will sing. He established the whole sadhana, the whole lifestyle of his followers. So he had at one point some 500 groups all over Bengal, and these were what we call now Namahatta groups. He would call them prapanashrams, meaning in the ashram of surrender. In other words, here you learn to surrender. And he had up to 500, or more, around 500.
And there was no internet or no media, no nothing.
Yes.
Huh? At that time.
What he
Nothing.
was, what he was doing is like a serialized reports, and he was using like catechism. Some of you are familiar with the concept of catechism, learning about theology through question and answers. And so he would send regularly to all these groups more information to say, you take this and collect it. For instance, the book Gudruma Kalpaka, the orchard, the divine orchard in Gudruma Dvip. There he describes the Namahatta. In his conception, when we say Namahatta now we mean, okay, there's a group somewhere, they meet regularly at home. In his conception, Namahatta was the all Sankirtan movement. Was the all Sankirtan movement, and it's like in the modern terms, like a multi-level marketing. Everybody who buys also sells. And he said that there is only one item, one product, is the holy name. But you, according to how much you pay, you can get a different type of holy name. If you have a very little faith, you only get the syllables, but they're kind of, quote unquote, empty. More you increase the faith, like Shraddha, and then you do actual sadhusanga, and then you actually practice, the holy name reveals more and more and more. You can have access to the name, then you start thinking of the form of Krishna, then you start thinking of the qualities of Krishna, and then you start thinking of the leelas of Krishna. And he says at a very advanced level, the holy name can even reveal leelas that are not mentioned in the books, because I mean the leelas in the spiritual worlds are unlimited. I mean you cannot have unlimited books. So, and he said in this market there is different, he lists more than 20 different positions. It's an allegory. Like for instance, there is the broker. Broker means one who brings clients, brings customers to the market. And he gets a commission. It's like you make a devotee, you make also a lot of spiritual advancement because you brought that devotee. And for instance, he introduced the idea of GBC. He calls it Panchayat. He said this whole system as a group of 10 devotees. And he says when these 10 devotees sit down and discuss and decide, we should take that decision as if it was made by Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Because Lord Nityananda Prabhu is the Mahajan, is like the owner of the market, he's Nam Prabhu. And what position does he give himself? He says, I am the sweeper of the market, which has two meanings. One is an act of humility, because sweepers in every country of the world, it's a humble position socially. One of the lowest, economically and socially. Nobody thinks, oh, I hope my child will become a sweeper with this big broom going around.
Cleaning up everybody's mess.
Yeah, picking up garbage. Not always surrounded by this smell of refuse. No, nobody thinks like that. So he said, I'm the sweeper of the building. Sorry, but the sweeper of the market. And as told me, one, humility. The second is the sweeper keeps the market clean.
Yes.
So, no nonsense. He wasn't no nonsense. I mean, he was a magistrate. So, no nonsense means no any immorality, no any deviation theologically, philosophically. So, he will keep the market clean, sparkling clean. He would not. And at that time, it was a different, again, as Mother Dina Sharma kindly reminded, there was no internet, so you have groups maybe hundreds of kilometers away from where he lived. So to keep the market clean, it's a major effort. No? It's like when you run a temple, you can see, okay, how's the bathroom, how's the kitchen, how's the also because Vaishnavism at that time had a very, very bad reputation. Because after Lord Chaitanya, some, of course, some great saints remain, some acharyas.
Veröffentlichen, Livestream, die Veranstaltung, damit andere Leute. Sorry.
No problem. Are we okay with the live?
We are fine. I'm just giving him because there is a conference, he can put the live stream so completely other people can listen.
So, what I was saying.
Sorry.
No, it's my fault. There's no internet. You keep the market clean. Anyway, maybe it will come later. Anyway, so was a big organization and was centered in Godrunbi. Yes?
You said the Vaishnavas.
Yeah. After Lord Chaitanya, of course, there were many saints and great acharyas, but many of them were in Vrindavan, they were writing many books. So what happened in Bengal, a lot of deviation happened. In fact, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a book, the 13 Apa Sampradaya. Apa Sampradaya, Apa means against, like we say Aparadha, means Apa Aradha. Aradha means worship. Also, Srimati Radharani, Aradha, Aradhana. Aparadha means something that goes against worship, something that displeases Srimati Radharani, something that it's against the flow of bhakti. So, Aparadha. So, Apa Sampradaya means something which has some problem with the Sampradaya, meaning some disconnection, some opposition. And he listed 13, but some of them are like there are many sub-branches. I mean, Bengal, it's a big country. It has more people than Germany, just West Bengal. So, and these Apa Sampradayas were divided into two basic categories. We could call them the elitists and the populists. The elitists were people who were generally born in Brahmana families, so they had some knowledge. They knew the mantras, they knew the rituals, they were in the family of pujaris, but they were also exclusivists, like the Srila Prabhupada describes in the Nectar of Devotion. There is the Nityananda Vamsa. The Nityananda Vamsa say, we are descendants from Nityananda Prabhu, and we only, at least at that time we were saying, of course now we can't say anymore, but at that time said, we only can give initiation to bhakti. Into bhakti. Yeah. We can only give diksha. And by the way, I discovered just a few days ago that some Nityananda Vamsa representatives, remember, they are now preaching in Europe.
Mhm.
They were just in Zagreb a few days ago. I saw the photo on Facebook. Anyway, that's a different thing. But anyway, Jati Goshai. Jati Goshai means by birth, Jati, they are Goshai, Goswami, they have this name, Goswami, but some of them, they don't control the senses very well. So those are the elitists, smartas, elitist, smarta. Smarta means they're very attached to so many rules and regulation, but they may not have so much faith in the spiritual essence or the power of bhakti. And then there are the populists. The populists sometimes become really a circus, like the Sakibekis. They're men who dress like gopis. And they think that just by dancing, dress as a gopi, Krishna will be attracted to them. Then there is the Gauranga Nagaris. The Gauranga Nagaris, they worship Gauranga as if it was Krishna. Therefore, whatever you need, so like say you need mridanga, you need kartals, you need a flag, you need the mantra banner, you buy with your own money, with your own stipend, your own salary. You cannot ask donations. Of course, it's not an absolute principle, but at the time for him was important to differentiate. We are not beggars. We are people, honest people. We maintain ourselves with our honest labor. There were different types, of jobs that the people were doing, but we don't get money from the public. Of course, we don't follow that because the time has changed. But at that time, he felt so. So this is just an example of how he was strict, and the whole thing was training. So he gave the song before Prashad. We chant Chariravirija. Gora Arti, you chant Gora Arti. Kiva Jayo Jayo Gora Chandra. Then he gives the signature. Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Rasampada. Bhakti Vinod, see the splendor of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He would. That's a Vaishnava thing. They sign, like in the artist, they sign. So they sign with their name at the end of the song, often.
They do something like this with picture also. I noticed that, for example, I don't know about this one here.
Such an under.
The artist, he paints. I don't know if this one has it, but I saw pictures from him where in the corner,
That's okay.
in the corner, he put a rabbit or something and he said, "This is my child." For example, they signed the painting with a personal touch. Krishna is there, the gopi is there, everything that, but the rabbit is my child, is my son. Like that, you know?
Yeah, it's
Plagiate.
Huh?
Plagiate zu verhindern.
I don't know what the reason is, it's just, this is how they sign their work.
Even Michelangelo, in the Sistine Chapel, there is the universal judgment, and they say he put his face in one corner.
Yes. Yeah. Or they put the face as a gopi, or a gopal looks like the sun or something, like they do that. Yeah.
So Srimati Thakur, so he was giving the sadhana for this, and what I find interesting is that from these groups, because he was eating up, see, he did not open temples because it was purely, we could say, congregational, home-based. That was not his focus. Of course, the groups would grow and we meet in temples and so on, but that was his focus. But his son, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he started recruiting brahmacharis. And many brahmacharis that he recruited were from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur families. So he would go there and they knew Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He left in 1914, just 3 weeks before the First World War. And so they grew up with him, all these Grihastas, and their children. And when the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started preaching, propagating, some of them gave their son as the brahmachari. Like that.
Bakshish. That's how I call it.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked, when I see that there's nice devotees around, I ask how many from. Yeah, I have 2, 3 brothers. Well, they're all married. Say, okay, then now you can tell your parents, give me as a bakshish to Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada was doing the same before coming to the West. He would go to the nice families and say, can you give me a son, spare a son?
Yeah.
You're a
Just one.
businessman, everybody's studying for big business, just one.
Yeah.
Nobody gave him anything.
Mhm.
He said that. He said, nobody. He was asking, give me a son. You have many, it's not like the only son. Yeah, 4 or 5, give me one. The others will do business, one will do bhakti.
I can tell you another story with Tirupati temple up there, You've been there, I'm sure, many times, huh? So there's all this, first it starts with wood, then with stainless steel, then silver, then copper, then gold, there are different stages. And I'm sure you have seen the donation box. It goes several floors.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, down there you can see they're counting the money, all
Yes.
the money, tons of money, and then it's like a funnel, everybody can throw. So one time it happened that there's a saying also that Venkateshwara never gives anything back. So it happened that some guests went there and the child by accident fell in the donation box and they never returned the child. They said it belongs to him, he wanted it, and he became then a priest there.
Yeah.
Grew up and became a priest. That's,
Because for those who have not been, there are this very high, maybe like 2 meters high hundi. So you have to put, if you're grown up, you can put, but many people take the child,
yeah.
they put inside,
And then
so probably one proof.
Exactly.
Sorry, now it's knowledge now it's to go to Gurukul and that's it.
Since we're talking about Tirupati just now, I happened to buy a lot of japa beads for here at the shop. And I went there and I thought, like everywhere, I will put them there for blessings. I had no idea that they don't return them. And I don't know if you know that, but they also open the curtain very fast and they move you away for the next person to be there. They push you. There's some chokidar or whatever they are. So anyway, I did that, and my own japa beads from Prabhupada went with the bunch because it flew in there. And I said, like this, and nothing comes back. I didn't know this. But then all of a sudden the curtain opened and a hand came out and the japa flew out and it was my japa beads from Prabhupada. Everything else was left there and my one japa beads from Prabhupada came back. So far out things happen.
It's
Very
amazing.
far out. I have a few stories from there because before I became a devotee, I went to India for 2 years walking, looking for the absolute truth, and I went to
Do
Venkateshwara.
the onliners get this or not?
So anyway, I went to Venkateshwara walking up there. So I already went before I became a devotee.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Jai, Jai.
Okay,
You were
let's
ready
go
to
back
go
to you.
obviously. Like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He may not have been manifested as a Vaishnava, but he was always. Okay, so you had this great organizational. At the same time, you also had a full-time job.
Yeah.
And the government, because you see, he was very precious for the government. He was so functional, so fearless, so incorruptible.
Yeah.
So he was very precious. And at one point he said, look, you have to give me Krishna Nagar. If you don't give me Krishna Nagar, I resign. So they have to give him Krishna Nagar. Krishna Nagar is the closest district headquarters of Mayapur. And they even built a railway, private railway for him. It's a smaller smaller rails, closer rails. It goes from basically his house to his office, and it still works. Still people use it. Huh? Um, so
Mayur?
Yeah.
Oh, come in.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. This is Mayur. He's
welcome,
coming.
Mayur.
Yeah,
Mayur the
Mayur.
peacock.
Yeah.
Mayur. Yes. Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Thank
So
you.
please take a seat,
Yeah.
and later I'll show you the room and everything else. Yeah? Otherwise you miss the talk.
Okay. So up to what time to go? I mean, of
Uh,
course.
it's up to you, but 8 o'clock will be the time that was set.
Oh, okay. So
But we
what time
started
is it?
half an hour late, so it's up to you.
Oh, well.
And
no,
then we want to take a small dinner, a little bit, something.
no objection.
So you decide.
Oh, okay. So
What time is it now? I don't see.
7:50.
750.
So 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, whatever. Yeah.
So, because the theme of this weekend is education, we'll come to the highest education, which is the Bhagavatam. And today is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so we can take inspiration. And remember, the brain, when it's young, I'm talking to the children, if there is any children in online,
Well,
probably not, but
We all are, I think.
the brain absorbs a lot. It's like a sponge. It's much easier, for instance, to learn verses. Like I see my wife, she learned so many songs of the, especially in the Madhva line, because her grandfather was a very good devotee. He was in a Brahmin Madhva family. He would do 3 hours of puja, Shalagram puja every day. And at one point, he even met Srila Prabhupada
Oh.
in Calcutta. I saw it in the Pandal program.
Thakur, you understand English, yes?
Yes.
And by the way, her grandfather was working in Germany for how many days?
3 years.
3 years. Anyway, then unfortunately they didn't pay him at the end, and it was very frustrating. But anyway, so this grandfather, I met him. I met him because once in 87, took a group of devotees from Italy around important temples. From Bangalore, we went to famous temple. Where are you from in India?
Pune.
Pune. Okay. So in Karnataka, he took us to important temples like Melkote,
I went there.
Udupi, Halebid, Belur. You might have heard Halebid, Belur. These are jewels of architecture. Anyway, so it was her grandfather, and he was very patient, and he will teach her songs, the songs of the acharyas, of the madhvas, Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa. These are great saints. I mean, they say, in their line, they say Purandaradasa was Narada Muni. And of course, there was others that are also great personality, a lot of Leela, and of course Udupi Krishna. Anyway, so he would sit with you, or what he would do?
Well, we had a schedule. Mornings you teach me certain mantras. Afternoon, how to chant the mantras of prasadam. What are the songs connected? At night there will be certain songs about the Lord and like that.
So now she still remembers them, she still uses them, and of course now she also understands the deeper meaning, and of course it's Bhagavata philosophy, Vairagya Vidya, detachment from material life and attachment and knowledge of Krishna. There are so many pastimes. So she learned all these songs. So to the parents, education sometimes can be done as a game, as something. See, psychologists, they say it's very important for children to spend quality time with the parents. Because now, with all this technology, children are always on those screens. You know that, just to give an example, in Australia, they ban social media for teenagers below 16.
And in Germany now, you're not allowed to bring your handy anymore in certain school, and they are experimenting with it, and then they are thinking of applying it everywhere.
I remember once I went to, I was in Rome, Italy, and they took us, there is a couple, very good devotees, much better than me, very dedicated devotees. And their son was in the car, so all going to the program, all the time he was with the video game. During the program, all the time he was with the video game. All the way back, all the time he was with the video game. So, it's really a disaster for the brain. It becomes very addictive. Also because these are designed in a way that are very attractive, so many things happening, sound. So the mind is completely, so a book looks like what do you call, a brick, or
Like a desert,
as Gita saying,
like a desert, there's nothing going
like
on.
this. I was thinking like this tombstone in the cemetery, right? It's like not attractive, right? So please, dear parents who are online, try it. Because sometimes the parents are busy, of course. So sometimes these are like substitute surrogate babysitters. Put in front of TV, put in front of cartoons, put in front of this or that.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah, at least it's there with this little screen. I remember I was brahmachari like that, so I won't interact much with my family because I was traveling all the time. But one time I happened to be in my family, and there was what would be to me, my nephew, a small girl, 2-3 years. And I remember when I was a child, and maybe you also remember, cartoons were once a week. There are cartoons in the TV.
On Sunday.
Sunday like that, or maybe some 2 hours in the afternoon. But then I remember I discovered that there was like the whole channel is cartoon 24 hours a day. There's no Cartoon Network. And this little girl, 2 years old, she was there in front. And when I was there, there was all these Japanese cartoons, which are all half monsters, half robots, it's all completely, there's no fighting, boom, 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 like that, and then it's not real, there's no poetry, there's no art actually, because they make it so much. So, my dear parents, education can be education is not only school, is whatever you do in front of the children, is how you spend the time. You can teach songs to your children, and then they will remember all life. And whatever time, quality time you spend with the children, although you're busy, I know you are busy going up and down, job and cook. I know you're busy. I'm not minimizing that great number of things that you have to do every day. But if you find some time, and as a game, as a relational exercise, you teach things like Srila Prabhupada, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. He wanted this full immersion Krishna conscious schools. And he would even teach, Srila Prabhupada was teaching the teachers how to do Krishna-centered games. Like first once he said, okay, one devotee one child play Krishna, one child play the cow. Srila Prabhupada personally explained explain how to do, why put always Krishna in the center. And he writes in the Bhagavata, when the children go to Gurukula, the Krishna consciousness becomes established very deeply in their heart. It's like something that you can't take it out because they grew up with that. One thing you could do, dear parents, I remember my sister, she grew up with a teddy bear. And this teddy bear was very dear to her. I mean, for years, until this teddy bear was kind of almost, what do you call it?
Falling apart.
Falling apart, literally falling apart. I was not there anymore. But still, for many years, my sister had this teddy bear. Now, fortunately, we have this Krishna dolls. In fact, my wife, she travels with the Jagannath dolls. And it's a chant. The last time we were in, not last time, the previous time we were in Europe, she had a Krishna doll. And I remember once we were in Switzerland on a train, it was a young family, and she was having the doll, and the father and mother told the child, you see, that's Krishna. Tell them one story of with the doll. Or like one time you took the Emirates, all the hostesses with the doll. Tell some story with
So
the
in
doll.
the airports, usually, whether it's an immigration officer or the security, they say, "Oh, is this Krishna?" Some ask, some say, "Who is this? What is this?" With Jagannath, they always ask questions, and with air hostess and everybody, they just become extra. They're like, "Would you like something special?" And then at one point, I made friends with all the air hostesses, and they were all like, "Can we hold?" They're holding the Krishna, and I have a picture of all of them holding Krishna, and it just becomes like very, very light and very emotional, kind of, because everybody has a child within them, no?
And Krishna within
And
them.
it's, yeah, Krishna within them.
So they recognize Krishna without knowing it. They
Exactly.
recognize Krishna at the time.
So that's like education without even knowing it's education. In other words, the child, because the child personalizes everything, you know, the child talks with the dolls, talks with the toys, and they really, it's not, they're not playing, for them those are persons. So when you give them, there are Gornitai dolls, there is Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman dolls, there's Krishna, there's Srimati Radharani, there's Balaram dolls.
Jagannath.
And we have, actually we have a German Srila Prabhupada disciple.
Schlüssel vom Shop ist da. Bitte?
We have them here also
Ich habe einen Schlüssel hier.
for sale.
Mach mal den Schlüssel auf und bring mal die Kiste mit allen Puppen drin. We will show you something and we can show it on the
Yes.
internet. Beeil dich mal. If you allow me to, in the meantime, while he says it, I would like to tell you something.
Please.
You know my son Harikirtan?
By fame mostly.
Okay. So I raised this boy like this.
Ah.
That was my.
Can you share the picture?
So I raised my boy like this. This is how I practice my Krishna consciousness, and this is how I tried to make my children Krishna conscious. So we were playing devotees. This was our play, our family play. We are devotees. So everything, wake up in the morning, take a shower, get dressed, put the tilak, and he was the pujari of the family. So look at this.
Jai.
Bring the camera here.
Haribol. Ganesh. Jagannath.
We just brought this from Mayapur just now.
Jai.
So a box full of
Radha
Krishna Balaram.
Krishna Balaram. Nishingadev.
Haribo.
Supralato.
yes, it's there. So and I tell you what, like for example, when I taught him read and write, my son Hariketan, I taught him, and like for example, there was the yellow color. This is Lord Chaitanya. The green is Ramachandra.
Ah.
Like that, you know, everything was Krishnaized. And I have pictures and books from it that I did for that time. Krishna willing, maybe someday I can make a book from it for education, for families or like that.
This is beautiful, and it makes it remind me how Jiva Goswami wrote the Harinama Amrita Vyakara. It's a Sanskrit grammar, Vyakara means grammar, and for everything he uses Krishna. For instance, and yesterday was Vamana Deva Piri, so for instance, for short vowels, in Sanskrit, some vowels are short and long. So short vowels, we call it Vamana, because it's short. When it's long, it's Trivikrama. So the whole grammar.
That's what I did with him.
Ah.
You know, everything had a Krishna name. You know, to Krishna is everything. And to go back to your example, as everybody looking in the handy, yeah?
Video game.
I had a nephew who came and visited me, and he was I don't know, computer expert or something. So we were traveling from here, Harinamadesh, to the city, Wiesbaden, this road. So he's sitting in the car in the back, and you know, and then all of a sudden he says, well, according to what I can see here, there should be a river around here. And I said to him, you know, if you look outside the window, you will see the river. The river was traveling with us, but he would see it. Just look outside the window. The river is there.
I
And
also,
this is...
I also have some experience with my children. They're sitting together in the bus and they're texting each other instead of speaking with each other.
Excuse me, no?
They're texting each other.
Instead of speaking. Yes, anyway, we will, who knows what's going to be.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you also, very nice, thank you. So let's have some prasadam, a little bit, huh? I guess, Himanga, yes?
You can say
And-
the prasadam prayer.
Huh, what?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote the prasadam prayer, you can end with that.
And then we'll see you tomorrow morning. The program starts at 5. And then to Puja Japa, all this, and breakfast will be after that. And you will give class from 8 to 9.
Me or
Oh, you decide.
the
among-
theme is education.
It's up to you what you like, how you like to do. And then breakfast, and then the day is yours, so to say. And if you like to do something more than just something, you're welcome to maybe cook a preparation in the kitchen if you feel like. Just one, because there is a cooking going on, you know, but just something or something else, it's up to you. And then at 2 o'clock, the program will start in the afternoon with a kirtan, and then guests are coming. And there will be a little fire ceremony for honoring the school beginning and the children. And then there will be a class, about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour more or less, depending on how the crowd is taking it. And then prasadam. And then Sunday morning program again, and a class again on Sunday morning. And after breakfast, I think you go to Offenbach.
Yes.
Yeah? And then somebody will take you there, or whatever the arrangement is. I don't know.
I
Did you
don't
make an
know.
arrangement with them? Are they picking you up, or what happens?
So far, I don't have any
Okay,
finalized
but there's
plans.
4
Normally
devotees.
they should.
Yeah, they are. Anyway,
we will
it's
contact
no
them.
problem. You will get there.
Somehow or other.
Okay. And one thing, after class, we always distribute books. And because it's Bhadra Purnima on Sunday, the idea, of course, we have books here, Bhagavad Gita's different things. We have a special price in the temple room, which is different from in the shop, to, you know, encourage devotees to serve. And then, if possible, to distribute sets, if possible. We will have sets in English, in German, and Russian. So, this is your...
We'll try.
And we are here also, we
Of
it's
course, we
easy.
will be a
After
team.
class, everybody's here, take one, and we, you know. And the price is cheaper than normal. It's €100 less.
Oh.
150 actually less. No, so, you know, just for you to be, don't worry, we are rocking the show, so to say, but you as being there, then people will come and please sign my book, like that. You know? This is how we distribute Prabhupada's books.
Jai.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Jai
coming
Shri
here.
Prabhupada ki jai,
I'm
Shri
very happy
Bhakti
to have you.
Thakur ki.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, virtually, he had already been here for Radhastami, I think it was, on the river. He was giving the lecture. Huh? Janmashtami? Last year, Janmashtami. You gave the lecture.
Oh, yeah, online, yes.
Okay.
Virtual visit.
Yes.